It's Thursday, it's day 4 of week 16 of 52 weeks of vlogging, and there was a solar eclipse today! Okay, there are two things to know about the solar eclipse that happened today. The first thing is that it was an annular solar eclipse, which means that the shadow of the moon, as in the size that the moon seemed to be as it passed across the sun, was actually smaller than the diameter of the sun itself. So as it passed across the sun, when it was right in the middle, it made the sun look like this flaming ring of fire, which was totally amazing and incredible, and it doesn't happen that often. And that's where the name annular comes from. It means that the sun looks like a ring. And the other thing to know about the annular solar eclipse that happened today is that it happened where mostly people weren't living. So that kind of sucked. You have to be in a specific part of the globe to be able to see it in that way, because if you're on the fringes of the eclipse path, then it just looks like, you know, a bit of a bite has been taken out of the sun. But how does it actually work, and how does it actually happen? To illustrate that, we're going to use this Earth to represent the Earth, and this dinosaur ball to represent the moon, because everybody knows the moon is where the magic happens. So the Earth moves around the sun, which I don't have because I don't have enough hands. As it orbits the sun, it rotates on its axis, which I can barely show you, but not very well because I'm not a basketball star and I can't balance pillows on my finger. And as the Earth rotates on its axis, the moon also goes around the Earth, actually slower than the Earth is rotating on its axis. Now there are a couple cool things to know about this. One is that the moon revolves around the Earth very, very slowly. It takes 27.3 days for it to make one full trip around the Earth. The other cool thing to know is that the moon revolves around the Earth at the same rate that it rotates, which means that the same side of the moon is always facing the Earth. That's why we can always see the man in the moon, that pattern of craters and lakes on the moon's surface that looks like a face, because that side of the moon is the only side that ever faces the Earth. Okay, so the Earth is moving around the sun, and as it's moving, it's spinning, and this is why we have days with the sun rising and setting. The moon is going around the Earth really, really slowly, and every so often this puts the moon right between the sun and the Earth, which means that if we look at the sun, which you should never ever do, ever, because you will burn your retinas and you will never see again. If using very specialized equipment we were to look at the sun, we would see that in a partial eclipse it looked like a bite was taken out of it because the moon is blocking that part of it. Or in the case of a total eclipse, where the moon is the right distance from the Earth, that it seems to be the same diameter as the sun and it completely covers the sun. Or in the case of an annular eclipse, the moon is just a little bit closer to the Earth compared to the distance of the sun, and so it seems to be actually a little bit smaller than the sun, which makes that cool ring of fire effect. We talk about solar eclipses like they're a really rare, not at all everyday kind of thing, but actually they happen a lot. They happen at least twice a year, which means they happen at least twice as often as Christmas. So if you think about it that way, it's not that special of an event. But it is really special, especially when you consider the fact that it's a brief moment in time, and that means that you can only see it from certain parts on the globe when it's happening because, you know, the rest of the globe is facing the other way. The next solar eclipse will be this year on November 3rd, but unless you live in this part of Africa, this part of South America, or somewhere in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean here, you're not going to be able to see it unless you watch a live stream, which you can. There was a live stream of the annular eclipse that happened today. You can catch it at the link down in the description. If you live in North America like me, the next solar eclipse that we'll be able to see will happen on October 23rd, 2014. So mark your calendars. And that's it for today's science lesson. If you enjoy my videos and want to see more, you can subscribe at youtube.com/user/ishtavlogs. You can find me in about a bajillion other places online, links all in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.